Hey all, here are OS Reviews. Today we're taking a quick look at the Maxfree F2. This is a portable monitor solution which combines two additional screens onto your laptop, so you have more of a comfortable working experience if you are doing more multitasking with various different windows. It kind of rivals the setup maybe that you have in an office, but you can take it anywhere with you when on the go with these two additional 14-inch IPS LCD screens at 1080p resolution. Now, portable monitors for laptops actually aren't anything new, but what makes this particular variant, this triple setup, a little bit more interesting is that it includes a stand, so it doesn't really require you to clamp the monitors directly onto your laptop screen, which can be a problem because as you're clamping more of these displays, it gets a little bit heavy and your hinge can get weakened or even damaged over time. So this has more of aluminum, kind of a sturdy reinforced construction that holds its own weight into place as long as you have a flat desk or surface. It also means that this particular setup allows you to change the orientation of the screens, not only like this, but you can also tilt it more flexibly 360 degrees into a portrait orientation as well. So you can flip it like you see here, depending on if you're looking at different size Excel sheets or various applications that suit your needs. You can still use it as a normal kind of monitor by pulling one of these off and just marrying onto one of your devices. That can also work if you don't need two of them at the same time. With that being said, I would have liked to see a full-sized HDMI port. I think that would be even more standard, although adapters are included in the box, but it is what it is to achieve a more lightweight and thin frame. Let's take a quick look here at the packaging. The entire thing here actually weighs around 3 pounds, so it does weigh a little bit more because of the extra aluminum sturdy stand in conjunction with the two screens. It's more meant for productivity and office work, although for watching back videos, it should also suffice with, again, IPS LCD having good viewing angles, although it doesn't have a crazy fast refresh rate for things like gaming. Inside of this, we actually get a included kind of carrying case that you can use almost like a briefcase to carry the entire solution with you when on the go, or again, fit it into a backpack, so it protects everything and prevents anything from moving around. And underneath here, you do get some of the extra accessories, including a quick user guide, also documentation that tells you what all the cables can correspond to, mostly just USB Type-C, but you also get an aforementioned mini HDMI to full-sized HDMI adapter if you have that on, say, a console, for example, that you're trying to connect to, or an older style laptop, and also, again, the aforementioned Type-C cables. With that being said, like most of these portable monitors, they will be drawing power directly from your device. So you can plug it into the wall, obviously, or with a power bank that might actually get you a little bit longer runtime. Otherwise, it might sap the juice just a little bit more quickly, especially with two monitors, at least at the same time. So the casing here is constructed out of this felt soft touch material, and you can pull open this kind of Velcro strap. This is basically the stand portion, which again, similar to a laptop cooling stand, your laptop will just fit onto the top there, having some soft touch rubber accents to prevent it from sliding around. So you can put this onto, say, your lap or onto a desk as you're working, and then the two monitors will then kind of connect onto these two edges, as you can see there, snapping into place. And when you open up these arms, they also allow you to more easily pull open the monitors here that are tucked into this section. So what you have to do is actually collapse the stand by pushing it inwards. The entire construction feels very sturdy and well built, again made out of these metal materials, basically acting as a roll cage for protecting the screens when it's inside. And they are further spring assisted, so you can then give it a bit of a press and they will then snap out, as you can tell there. Otherwise they won't come out at all, even if you're tugging at it. And again, when this arm there is further collapsed on the edge, it's also going to lock itself into place. So it's pretty secure. We're just going to pull one of these screens out. They're basically stacked on top of one another, so the screen is on the other side, and here is the second one that we can then pull out, and now the stand portion here is basically empty. So definitely a little bit more engineering that went into the whole storage mechanism, at least on this particular model, that I think is quite clever. Also having some carbon fiber textures on some of the edges makes it feel very robust, but again, you are carrying a little bit more weight, though if you have a thin and light computer, it's going to be good because it supports the entire weight using the system. The two monitors are identical, so we'll just take a look at one as an example here. You can see that the screen underneath here is a matte texture, so it's not going to be too glossy, even if there's a bit of sunlight, which is good, anti-glare, but it's not a touchscreen panel on this one. Now, you'll also notice along the edges, it doesn't have the thinnest bezels, and that's because it needs to clamp onto essentially these feet that you stick it into. So it has a few rubber and magnets to hold itself either in this portrait or in the vertical orientation. Having said that, it does feel relatively sturdy and still fairly slim. On the edge here, we have all of the I/O, including the mini HDMI, the Type-C ports for power and display output. And the back here, also continues with the metal finish and carbon fiber, in addition to a built-in kickstand on both of these that you're able to use, although the position can't further rotate. So even if you aren't using this particular built-in mechanism, the stand, you can still have it sit upright on its own if you have a little bit more room on your desk, for example. So it is very versatile and a pretty well thought out solution, I have to admit. And now trying to snap in the monitor, let's go with the horizontal orientation first. You just have to lightly align it, and then using magnets, it does most of the work. It will then just pop itself into place like that. Relatively secure and locked in, I would say. Just pop your laptop there into the center and then plug in the cables and you're ready to go. So this is the setup actually working quite well with these extra monitors. Again, you're able to fairly flexibly change in terms of the positioning and angle as well. The only thing to keep in mind though is since these are two technically separate monitors, it does require two ports on your computer. So either two Type-C ports or one Type-C and one HDMI. You're going to have two cables plugging in instead of only one cable driving both of those monitors, which might have been even more convenient, but that is a trade-off of having a design that technically can be detached if you want to only use one monitor as well. And overall, even though it looks kind of crazy, it truly does increase our productivity. Again, being able to write an email on one screen while looking at an actual Excel spreadsheet on the other just makes the entire workflow a lot easier than trying to cram everything into one screen and then constantly jump back and forth. So if you're doing a lot of that multitasking work, this is where a larger screen solution like this might be beneficial. Now, in terms of the other screen orientations, I'm going to try pulling out this, and then I'm going to rotate the screen and also snap it into place so you can tell that it will lock itself in. Again, you can change the angle fairly flexibly. So this might be helpful if you are, again, looking at something like stocks or maybe some type of application which is more longer in terms of that spreadsheet or document rather than being a normal horizontal layout. And depending on the size of your laptop, it can all fit into this docking station just by pulling out the length, which again, you use to store the monitors when not in use, but you can further extend it, say if you're working with a larger laptop. So overall, I would say this is one of the best kind of implementations of a triple monitor setup that I have seen on the market in terms of the stability and again, not applying weight or damaging your actual laptop. And again, being able to resize multiple windows is kind of a game changer for productivity, making things just so much easier, I have to admit. Otherwise, the quality of the screens I would say is fair. It does have enough sharpness. Pulling out the monitor, for example, this is what it looks like on a kind of HD resolution footage. You can see viewing angles and legibility all seems to be pretty good and consistent. Again, glare-free because of the matte texture. Now there is also a additional menu key here on the side that you're able to technically press on if you want to further increase the brightness level, as well as change things like contrast, backlight sharpness, go into a eco mode. You can turn on HDR as well as a blue light mode. And there is a small built-in speaker on here as well, although it's not super satisfying as expected from a monitor speaker. So mainly your laptop one should suffice for audio that you're playing back, but it is one option. And again, it can connect to also say a phone, a Samsung Galaxy device using DeX. It can be another option using again a Type-C port or even Nintendo Switch. It's quite versatile if you want to just stand it upright as a separate monitor on its own and then pop it onto this stand when you're getting work done in that triple monitor mode. Also, the angles are super flexible, so you can still put it into kind of a tent or presentation mode where it's even pointing away from you or perhaps all the way onto the back. For example, if you want to show someone else a different image and you have your laptop here on the other side, as you can tell, you can do that and kind of position the three monitors into a triangle or tripod. So the angles again here are just extremely easy to kind of customize depending on your workflow, and again have someone maybe in a cafe see something that is mirrored from your screen. That is another possibility while you maybe see something else. So there we have it. That's the Maxfree T2, again one of the most versatile and I think better engineered triple monitor solutions for laptops. And you have more of a mobile or on-the-go lifestyle in terms of working, then this might be a good accessory to consider. You can check out more details if interested in the links down below, but for now that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the Maxfree T2.